Preceptorship, and so what that is, it's kind of like a step up from shadowing, because you're expected to maybe do like a physical or assist on like a minor procedure, or assist in things that you've been trained to do. No one's going to ask you to do anything like crazy or something new that you've never learned how to do. And so I'm on OB for a week, and I was able to get this set up through the OB interest group at school. And so one cool thing about the way they set it up is that every single day I get to see and do something a little different. Today I was on gynonc, so gynecology, oncology. So I got to see two cases, or really just one, because the first one was pretty much over by the time I got here. But the second one, the patient had cervical cancer. I even got to go into pathology to see them take frozen sections of the patient's lymph nodes, so that they can test and see if they were negative or positive, because then that changed whether or not they went along with the second part of the surgery or not. So that was really cool. I'm not really able to show you guys like the insides of what like the OR looks like, because there's like patient information written on the walls, and I don't really know how comfortable like the residents would be with me putting them in the on the vlog. So for now, at the end of every day, I'm just gonna give you guys kind of an update, and then in the morning check in as well, and let you guys know what I've been up to and what cool things that I've seen. So good morning. It's a little after 7. I made it to day 2. Today I'm on labor and delivery, which although yesterday was awesome and I learned so much and it was a great experience today, this is really what I'm really interested in, is obstetrics. It's like the OBGYN stands for obstetrics and gynecology, and so most doctors go into both. And so, as a young doctor, typically you do both, and then maybe when you get older, you focus more on the gynecology part. But obstetrics, which is, delivering babies, you're mostly concerned for the care of the baby, and the mother as well. That's really what I'm interested in. So right now I'm in the residence lounge. I got here, this is where I was told to go and to wait for, I guess, the residents who are on call. They're not in here, which means they're probably maybe rounding or doing a delivery. So I probably won't be able to show you guys anything much later. But this is where they're stationed. As you just saw, like, they have beds in here, which is crazy. They really sleep here. So. Alright, so I am back for day 2 wrap up. I have one of my favorite things, which I think it might have been featured in one of my earlier videos. Pad Thai from Thai to Jing. Truly a delicacy. I was in labor and delivery, and by far 10 times cooler, more interesting than yesterday. Something I could like really truly see myself doing after I graduate. So I got to see 3 vaginal deliveries, and then 1 like Explanon placement. I guess that's the proper way to say it. All 3 were uncomplicated. They went really smoothly. The resident basically did everything, and then like the attending was there to assist. So I think that's really cool. One thing that I'm really learning, not only about like the science and like the medicine and the pharmacology and all those important things, but mostly just like how like logistically how things work. As a first year resident or like an intern, how high the expectations are and how much you're actually expected to do and how hands-on you are. And so for first year residents pretty much be running the show, I think is really cool and like is really something to look forward to. I got to see what triage looks like. So triage basically is just like the emergency room for pregnant people. And so one girl came in and she was actually scheduled for an induction the next day, but she said her contractions were too bad and she thought her water had broke and it actually hadn't. I also think it's cool how, you can go to medical school anywhere you want in the country and you can probably learn like 15 different ways to deliver a baby. Just like little tricks and like niches that the doctors have of how they do things, how they hold the baby when it comes out, whether they suction or not before or after the baby comes out, how do they manage pain after, just things like that. That was really cool. So the 3 deliveries that I saw were 3 different attendings, same resident though, so that was really cool just to see how variable it can be technique wise when moving from like one doctor to another. And a lot of it is probably what you learned or how you were trained to do it, but also probably just like personal preferences. So it's really important to kind of have your own personal spin on how you do things and do what you feel is most effective, based off of research and also just based off of the experience and just what you've seen clinically. This was amazing. I have missed this. So tomorrow I won't be in any hospital setting. I'll be in a clinic. Tomorrow I'll actually be in the same clinic as I will be the next day, but I think I'm going to be with 2 different doctors. So clinic, it'll just be ambulatory, which means, people coming in with like GYN complaints or pregnant mothers who are coming in for checkups, people coming in requesting birth control or, various things like that. And when I was a sophomore in college, I actually shadowed a doctor on one of her clinic days, so I kind of have an idea of what that looks like and how that works. But it'll also be interesting to see just in New Orleans because there's a totally different patient population. Interesting to see like if there's different complaints here with a different patient population, how patients interact with their doctors in a place like New Orleans opposed to a place like my hometown where I grew up. I definitely have a lot of things that I could say comparing what I said yesterday to what I did today. But I think at the end, I'm going to do like a big comparison, like clinic versus gynec versus labor and delivery, and tell you like what I think the pros and cons are of both, or what I like, or what I most likely can see myself doing as a career. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So here I am on day 4 of my preceptorship. It's actually around 8:30, maybe 8:45 in the morning. So yesterday I didn't really do like a wrap-up video telling you guys my experience or the things that I saw, because today I was gonna be in the clinic just like I was yesterday, so I figured it makes sense to just do it all today after I was done. However, I went to the clinic and the doctor that I was supposed to be shadowing had actually bumped all her patients to a different day, so she didn't have clinic going on today. So one thing that's different today compared to my labor and delivery and surgery day was that you can see I'm in my white coat, ID, and business casual clothing, and below I have some slacks. Just believe me when I say that I'm wearing slacks. Come on, Kobe. So clinic it's an OBGYN clinic, so you have OB complaints and you have gyne complaints. So OB, obstetrics, gynecology. So obstetrics would be anyone coming in because they're pregnant They think they may be pregnant. They're maybe trying to get pregnant and they want to consult what are their options if they're trying to get pregnant. And gyne complaints can be just about anything going on with like the female anatomy. So for example, a lady came in yesterday with Barthonian cyst, which was actually really cool. Like my eyes lit up whenever he said that that's what she had. And then when I saw it, it confirmed. I was like, wow, this is something that I actually learned in anatomy 2-3 months ago. So I think it's pretty cool that when like the anatomy that you learn is actually implied in clinic. And it looked exactly like it did on the PowerPoint slide when I studied it for my test. So that was pretty cool. I saw a patient come in. She was having really bad cramps, and so she wanted an IUD placed in. So I got to see that procedure, how that works. I got to see a lady who came in for a follow-up because her pap smear was abnormal, and it was abnormal for HPV. So the doctor looked at her cervix with a colposcope. So the procedure was called a colposcopy. Hope I'm saying that right. So basically it's like a telescope that they use to examine the vagina and the cervix for underlying disease, or maybe to confirm things that they might have seen on a pap smear. So those were kind of like the highlights of my day yesterday. And then I got to see a couple of OB patients who were just coming in just for one of their checkups, just to make sure that the baby was doing okay, maybe voice any concerns or complaints that they were having. So yeah, so I guess I can do like the pros and the cons and kind of weigh what I like the most. So I think it's no surprise that labor and delivery like takes the cake. That was so much fun. In labor and delivery, it's very fast-paced, always on the move, always rounding on patients, always going into address any needs that a patient in labor may need, like adjusting their meds or just getting them a pillow because laying down or propping themselves up might make them feel better. Deliveries literally every hour. Like if you knew me personally, you knew that I'm the kind of person that I like to be on the go. I like to stay busy. I like to be very hands-on. So I think I could honestly really see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I just thought it was really cool. And just like the relationship that you have with your patients, you can tell that the physicians, like they knew their patients very personally. They were able to joke with them in order to maybe, you know, ease them or calm them when they were in severe pain. And you know, they were genuinely happy for them and told them congratulations whenever they delivered their baby. You know, these are people that they've been following probably through multiple pregnancies or maybe even through adolescence when they first went to their first gyne checkup. So I thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed seeing that aspect of it. Surgery versus clinic. I mean, honestly, I can't really properly assess surgery because, of course, I'm going to say it was boring because all I did was watch. I didn't scrub in, I didn't assist. I literally just sat on a stool and observed. And I observed for a very long time. The surgery started at 9 and ended at like 2:30. So I can't really say which one I like better because I didn't actually get to experience what doing a surgery would feel like. I definitely don't think I would enjoy doing very long surgeries like that. Gyne surgeries typically are notorious for being pretty long. Whereas if you don't specialize in gyne-onc and you're just doing regular OB-GYN surgeries, that could be anything from like laparoscopic surgeries, going in maybe to confirm that a patient has endometriosis, or doing a LEAP procedure, which I actually got to hear the doctor counsel a couple patients on yesterday. And that's basically where you just go in with like an electrically charged loop, and you shave off parts of the cervix if they have any rapidly dividing cells, so hopefully it doesn't progress into cancer. You can go in and you can do C-sections. That's a surgery. Sometimes along with C-sections, patients also want hysterectomies if they don't want any more children. And those things, though they are still major surgeries, they definitely won't take as long as, well, how many hours I was in there, 5+ hours. Maybe they're like 2-3 hour surgeries or procedures at the most. So with that being said, I think clinic was probably last on my list. Maybe if I had seen like more OB patients, which I'm really interested, like I love pregnancy, I think it's really cool. I really enjoyed studying development in anatomy this past semester, and like the gyne complaints were still very interesting. But yeah, clinic is just not, I mean, it is still pretty fast paced. I guess it just depends on, as a physician, how you want to do things. If you want to go in, see a patient, and then come back, sit, do your notes, go in, see a patient, come, sit back and do your notes. Or if you just want to knock out all your patients and then do the notes at the end of the day, it just depends. You can make it fast paced, you can make it slow paced. I really enjoyed this. I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to do my last day today, but I was so glad that I was able to see like multifaceted specialty. And that's one of the things that really draws me to OB-GYN. I mean, I've only shadowed once when I was like a sophomore in college, trying to figure out if medical school is what I wanted to do. But just beforehand, when I thought like, what specialty will I want to shadow, I knew that OB-GYN would be interesting because I'd be working with a patient population, women or, you know, young adults, which I feel like I have the skill set and like the personality to really get to know my patients and make them feel comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And also the fact that you get to literally do the coolest thing in the world, I think, and bring life into the world. Like literally within seconds, there's a baby inside of a mother's stomach, and then within the next 10 minutes, the head's out, and like now you just brought new life into the world. And I just think that is the coolest thing to be able to share that experience with my patients. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. If you have any questions about OB-GYN, any of the words that I mentioned, just drop them in the comments below. Or if you just have any questions about medical specialties in general, like I'm only a first-year med student, so I don't know a whole lot, but you know, if you have a question and I don't necessarily know the answer to, I can maybe ask one of my classmates who did shadow on that specialty for the week. So hopefully I'll be back with another video very soon. I start class on Monday, which is next week in a couple of days. But according to the second semester isn't as busy, so hopefully I can be more consistent with my videos. So all right, thank you guys for following me around all week. It was really fun. I know I had a good time. Hopefully you learned something from my experiences